priesthood was a meritorious, something a meritorious, an honor for many families. But St. Vincent de Paul, who was born into a very, very poor farming family, as against the Council of Trent norm of age 24, he got ordained at the age of 19 itself. We may think he must have been very intellectual. More than intellectual, he was more humble. He has expressed and exprimed his desire to be the priest of Christ. Therefore, the church has to give this exemption to ordain him at the age of 19 itself, as again it's the age of 24. So the first quality, what we find in the life of St. Vincent de Paul was his love for the priesthood of Christ. And that impelled so much. What happened? So he wanted to contribute something in return to the church. Especially after having completed his 2 years of slavery in a Muslim family, he has decided one thing, that I should train missionaries. So therefore, he has founded this great congregation of the missions. The great congregation of the missions. So again I say that the charity of Christ impels us. And when he had thought of forming this congregation for the women, collecting the women, especially for the ministering to the needs of the poor, in giving the ration, and especially taking care of the sick, the war victims, he had only one thing, that by serving the needy, they are serving Jesus. So I want my daughters, I want my sisters to see the face of Jesus on the face of the suffering. And exactly, even till this day, being the largest group of religious congregations in the Catholic Church of today, the largest group is the Daughters of Charity in the church. So therefore, the services that they have imbibed from the spirits of St. Vincent de Paul have never gone down even in this decade. So therefore, when we reflect about this, so the church is so proud to present St. Vincent de Paul as the apostle of charity. There are so many saints who had done the works of charity, who has propagated, who had spread the acts of charity of the Catholic Church. But why this title only to St. Vincent de Paul is because of the total dedication to the love of the poor alone. Love of the poor alone, because he looked at them that if I do not love the people who are suffering, the people who are into slavery, the people who are into poverty, how can I love Christ who was poor, who was neglected by the people? So therefore, the convinced way of living the religious life we see in the life of St. Vincent de Paul. And we proudly say that today the church is the #1 charity organization in the world. There are so many wings of charity in the church. The collection of the wings, and first and foremost that leads all these charities is which St. Vincent de Paul founded in later. The spirit of St. Vincent de Paul founded 1833, that is the Vincent de Paul Society, which takes care of number of charitable activities in the world, especially in the regions of the war victims, in the regions of earthquakes, in the downtrodden people, the people who are neglected, the women who are totally sidelined by the society. Their gems, the St. Vincent de Paul Society to take care of them, because they see the Jesus on the face of these poor who are suffering. So therefore today, especially the second reading, how beautiful it is that it is the bestowing of the Spirit of God that one can do any activities in the church. Unless God bestows, no one can do any charities. And it was this spirit which was impelling St. Vincent de Paul to take up the call, to take up the need of the time. Again I repeat, having experienced the slavery for 2 years, he was a slave for 2 years, but that slavery he turned into to be closer to those people who are in need, those people who are into already slavery, those people who are totally neglected by the society. So therefore, St. Vincent de Paul is the embodiment of charity, the apostle of charity. And finally, the gospel, the beatitude, how beautifully present who becomes the blessed. The word blessed, remember always that, I love to say that in Greek, the word for blessed is makarios. So makarios is a word which cannot be applied to any ordinary being. The word cannot be applied to any ordinary person. It is applied to the celestials, the heavenly beings, those who are always serving God, those who are always in the presence of God. The Greek word is applied. But here Jesus is applying the blessed, the makarios, to the ordinary people who are in front of them, the poor, the neglected, the woman, the downtrodden, and say that when you take care of this, when you follow all this, you become blessed. You become blessed means you are given this privilege to see the face of God, and which Vincent de Paul has got even in his lifetime itself. So Vincent de Paul became a blessed in his lifetime itself because of his dedicated services to the poor, the needy, the downtrodden, and especially the neglected of the women of the time and women of this time. So therefore, we are so proud, we are blessed to have such a saint who was example of generosity, who example of humility. And because of his humble lifestyle, again I say that, he was such a humble person, not because he was born into a poor, he made himself humble, but he wanted to make himself equal to the life of Jesus, who was humiliated on the death of the cross. And that humility was always a rewarding point for him. Because he was humble, he was rewarded by the people of the time, and later, wherever he went into France, he was given such a great acknowledgement. And greatly to remember, during the French Revolution, when the Church of French was totally destroyed by the liberals, they never dared to touch the statues of St. Vincent de Paul. Those statues were remaining intact because the people were in love of St. Vincent de Paul lifestyle. Even though they were against the Catholic Church because of the feudalistic attitude of the church, but they never went and touched any statue of St. Vincent de Paul. And he is the embodiment of charity. So today, when we celebrate this, once again, we are so proud to have you, dear beloved sisters, amidst us. And we know that for the last 4 decades, your association with us, your collaboration with us is marvelous. We cannot use any words to appreciate you, any words to thank you. But our presence is always, as you are a blessing for us, we too are a blessing for you. We always pray for you, because the people, all the people recognize your services, your simple lifestyle, your simplicity and your humility and your poor way of living, and you are equaling yourselves with the poor. The poorest of the poor is no one can unmatch you. No one can else match with your lifestyle, the way that you have made yourself adapting to all the needs of the poor. And really, our people at KLLC, really they are blessed. They are really blessed. Sometimes they don't deserve your presence. We feel that. The unrecognition when they give you, sometimes we feel that you are giving a unmeritorious services. But surely, God will bless you for all that. And lately, as I said, such a beautiful and famous becoming famous institution, Vincent de Paul School, has put a label in the life of so many families and students. So God will bless you for this also, for your dedicated services in the educational field also, not with any profit motive that it should fetch us crores and crores. No, it is the joy is when you are able to become a light in the life of any family. That is the most rewarding, and surely God will reward you for this abundantly. May God bless you.